Part 49. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 482. What is that? The long-tongued ghost stared at the branch in the universe and was dumbfounded. It looks like a twig of a certain tree, but it stretches hundreds of thousands of miles, and every chi movement can destroy the world. The vast amount of world-destroying starlight was swallowed up by whales, and the universe became silent. The stars in the sky were trembling and swaying as the branches moved gently. The branches are just swaying slightly, and the stars in the sky are dancing with it. The ghost master Tianan and other ghosts also looked at the scene in shock. Is this the legendary tree? The dark ghost lord was shocked. He was once a giant under the stars. Learn more. In the oldest creation myth, there is a world tree that is said to hold up thousands of universes and block all disasters. Known as, the mother tree of the world. However, those legends have long been discontinued, and only fragments of them can be seen in some of the oldest fragments. That piece of ancient history seems to be shrouded in heavy fog. Is that Zisin? At this time, Goichi spoke in surprise and pointed to the far end of the starry sky. In that cold and silent universe, there are hundreds of Tao principles that exude mysterious light, just like schools of fish swimming and fighting for each other, heading towards the branch that stretches across the sky. Is that the original law? Tianan Ghost Lord was shocked. Is his guess true? In the gaze of all the ghosts, like a school of fish in a net, those paths have arrived around the branches, lingering around the branches, and then merged into the leaves. Eventually, hundreds of original Tao principles disappeared. And the magnificent branches that stretched across the sky and suppressed the starry sky were even more unfathomable at this moment, and every leaf contained endless worldly power. That branch taps lightly. Suddenly, hundreds of star realms gathered around and revolved around the great ruins realm. The star wheel, formed, centered on the great ruins realm. At this moment, the entire star wheel seemed to have established some kind of wonderful connection. There were some mysterious particles and light in each star realm of the star wheel, slowly flowing to the great ruins realm. The great ruins realm is the main realm of the star wheel. The Tianan Ghost Lord's expression was extremely solemn. He deeply knows that after the star wheel is formed, the power of many worlds will converge on the main star, and the main star will continue to grow. If the power of the world is enough, the main realm can even evolve into the eternal realm. Thatsu, Onishi-sama, is it the legendary one? Goichi looked at Tianan Ghost Lord with great excitement. Tianan Ghost Lord also had a somewhat complicated face and said, according to the ancient records, there is only one mother element of the world, it should be destroyed. We are lucky enough to witness the miracle of forest talk. Witnessed mythical miracles. All the ghosts were stunned when they heard this. Even my own ghost master has to use these 4 words to describe. Master Onigamai, it's safe now, let's run away. After reacting, old Goichi spoke excitedly. Now is the best chance to escape. But the ghost lord Tianese looked at the branches of the world tree on Tianyu with incomparable despair in his eyes. There's no escape. What a wild thing in the 4 realms, it actually appeared in the great ruins realm. If I guessed correctly, it should also be related to the god burial great wilderness sect. He thought of too much. The world mother tree is something from the ancient era of disaster. And the weird grey fog was the most feared and weird substance in that era. And the people behind those 2 tooth-extracting monsters can erase the mist of disaster. I'm afraid he probably found the world mother tree. What kind of eternal monster is this? Just when he was hesitating, the branch of the world tree in the universe began to retreat to the great ruins realm. As it passed over their heads, many dark beams of light suddenly fell towards them. This is so bad. The hungry ghost's eyes shone, and he salivated. He opened his toothless mouth and sucked in suddenly. Those dark beams of light were actually sucked into his body. In an instant, the starving ghost's weak ghost body was instantly filled with dark light waves, and his breath expanded instantly. His strength has fully recovered, and he is still making breakthroughs. The original strength of the starving ghost is equivalent to the 6th level of the true God. Now, directly break into the 7th heaven of the true God. 8th heaven. In the end, it even approached the realm of ghosts. Seeing this, all the ghosts were shocked. What's this? Is it of great benefit to us? The ghosts were surprised. The Tianan Ghost Lord took a deep breath of cold air and said, "This, the dark origin of Xuanhuan sect. He was once the ghost master of a generation, and he knew nature. The stars in the universe had a bright and sacred origin, but they also had a dark side. Yin and yang are intertwined, harmony and chaos are intertwined, this is the truth deep in the universe. However, it is almost impossible for cultivators in the world to make use of the dark origin. But, ghosts can. The reason why ghosts are born is, in a sense, because of the existence of the dark origin. Ghosts are formed after the death of living beings, and they inherently represent another side of the universe. This kind of dark origin is a rare divine item for ghosts. Why do ghosts like to eat evil people? Why do you like to chase death and darkness? Because those things are great supplements for them. Evil thoughts, death energy, darkness, etc. From a deeper perspective, they are just appearances. The origin of darkness is like soil, and those things are just the plants and trees that grow on it. Rather than saying that they are pursuing evil thoughts, death, and darkness, it is better to say that what they have been pursuing is the origin of darkness. However, the origin of darkness involves the most fundamental secrets in the universe. Even the giant ghost king in the ghost world may not be able to understand it. In the opinion of the ghost lord Tianese, there are probably no more than 10 people in the entire universe who can understand the origin of the universe, and those who can find the origin of darkness from the origin of chaos in the universe. Very rare. He even doubted that no one among the ghosts could do it. The reason why the dark origin appears at this moment. It's because of the world mother tree. No matter how complicated the origin of the universe is, but it is nothing in front of the world mother tree. After all, the world mother tree is the source of thousands of universes. At this moment, watching the dark matter falling all over the sky, the ghost lord of heaven was extremely excited. This is the legendary pie in the sky. He suddenly stretched out his hands and absorbed the dark origin into the ghost body. The dark matter was frantically refined by him, the impurities in his ghost body were eliminated, and the soul light was transforming. His original black soul light actually evolved into purple. Purple ghost body? Am I going to transform into a purple ghost body? The dark ghost lord was shocked. His eyes were full of desire, and he frantically absorbed the source of darkness. But then, he discovered that the dark origin he could refine, seemed to have reached a limit. It can't be accommodated. I don't believe it, I want to hit harder. The Sky Dark Ghost Lord, a generation of ruthless ghosts, is now willing to risk his life and continue to devour the source of darkness at the cost of exploding his body. His body was almost shaking and about to explode. The faces of all the ghosts changed greatly, and they were worried. But, right now, on his forehead, 4 large vermilion characters suddenly appeared. Be a good ghost. Every word is as heavy as 1,000 stones, and seems to contain some kind of supreme substance and power, suppressing those violent dark origins. The ghost lord Tianan was overjoyed, he no longer had any worries and started refining like crazy. In the end, his soul light completely turned purple. It's dark, cold, mysterious, and complicated. It's obviously dark, but it makes people feel extremely transcendent and makes them want to worship. The real purple ghost body. Geikie exclaimed. This is extremely rare in the entire ghost world. The purple ghost body is also known as the Ghost King body. Because the purple ghost body in the history of the ghost clan, can eventually become a ghost king level giant. The other ghosts were shocked when they saw this. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 483. All the ghosts were shocked when they saw this. The purple ghost body, is legendary in the entire ghost world. Now, it appears. Ha ha, ha 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 ha. The dark ghost lord looked up to the sky and smiled, his aura suddenly changed, and as soon as he thought of it, the ghost stretched for tens of thousands of miles. He returned to the realm of Ghost Master. Previously, because he had been sealed for too long, he fell from the 9th level of Ghost Master to the realm of Heavenly Ghost. Now, he has returned to the 1st level of Ghost Master. In fact, the biggest effect of the Dark Origin is to improve their physique and potential. The improvement in realm is not too great. But even so, Tian Ghost Lord has a feeling that he is stronger now than when he was at his peak. It's so powerful. This Dark Origin is really a good thing. Congratulations to the Ghost Lord. Congratulations to the Ghost Lord. The Ghosts worship. The Ghost Master Tianan has the 4 characters be a good ghost on his head. At this moment, he feels invincible. So arrogant. Don't be too polite, just absorb it quickly. He urged the ghosts that he had accommodated a huge amount, which was enough for now and could not be wasted. The ghosts also hurriedly started refining and absorbing it. My time, my time, my time again. The starving man devoured it, but not long after eating, he burped. His ghost body can't hold it anymore. Most of the ghosts can only be refined and swallowed a small part, even the starving ghosts only have a little more than other ghosts. Because the energy contained in the Dark Origin is too great for them to suppress. However, at this moment, Goichi, the old ghost, was devouring it crazily. He was so desperate that he devoured more food than a starving man. Because, when he was in danger of exploding, the 4 big characters on his forehead were also suppressed. Be a good ghost. At this moment, all the ghosts' eyes were straightened when they saw it. Holy crap, these 4 words are so useful. The chosen ghosts, Lord Ghost Lord and Commander Goichi, they are really the chosen ghosts. They were actually given such 4 characters. If I had these 4 words, I could eat countless more. They are envious. The starving ghost was even more sad and angry, and he was full of grievances. Damn, they are all ghosts who had their teeth pulled out by the tooth extraction monster. Why did Mao himself only have his teeth pulled out and not right? Unfair. It's not fair to blame her for pulling out teeth. He was angry, aggrieved, and felt unbalanced. He couldn't wait to go back and find the tooth-pulling monster to theorize. It was so bullying. As he thought about it, tears rolled down his cheeks. The main thing is that he is a starving ghost. Who can usually eat more than him, but this time, the old ghost ate so much and he ate so little. It's such a shame, it's so shameful, I've lost all my face. In the end, all the ghosts reached a limit and could no longer absorb it. My soul light actually reversed aging, and became younger. Lao Goichi was so surprised that he almost cried. The secret power of time has not let go of ghosts. Even if ghosts die once, they still need to fight for their way through the long river of time, otherwise they will eventually perish. Originally, there was not much time left for him. But now, his soul light was revived, and he felt like he was back to the time when he first became a ghost, full of vitality. Moreover, part of the purple soul light actually appeared in his soul light. Although there are few, they are very magical. This means, it is possible for me to evolve into a purple ghost body. The old ghost's eyes filled with tears. Happiness came too suddenly, he suddenly missed the tooth-pulling monster of the girl in purple skirt. She is simply a goddess, a great bodhisattva who saves the suffering. I'm just one step away from breaking through and becoming a ghost. My soul light is also changing. Although it is not purple, the impurities are almost gone. This is a great opportunity, a great opportunity. A group of ghosts were howling with happiness at this moment, and letting out shrill ghost howls with satisfaction. In the end, the branches of the world tree receded, and no more dark source fell. Huh? My ghost teeth have grown a little. At this time, the starving ghost was surprised. He was supplemented by the dark origin. Not only did he ascend to the perfection of a real ghost, he was only one step away from becoming a heavenly ghost, and he also had small baby teeth. He was excited to feel his teeth reappear. Me too. Goichi also touched his baby teeth and became happy. His cultivation level even reached the 6th level of heaven and ghost. The ghost lord Tianese also felt the little baby teeth that had grown out. He was even more surprised. His physique had transformed, and the quality of the ghost teeth had also become higher. He felt that he could easily bite through all the divine gold in the world. He felt more and more that he would soar into the sky in this life. After all, the purple ghost body is so powerful, far more powerful than in his previous life. Sir, let's go back to Gaixiao quickly. You already have a supreme ghost body. When you go back, you will definitely be accepted as a disciple by the ghost kings and your reputation will spread throughout Gaixiao. Goichi looked at Tian and Ghost Lord excitedly, full of expectation. However, Tian and Ghost Lord shook his head firmly and said, "It's smaller, the layout is smaller. What disciple of the Ghost King? His reputation spreads throughout the whole ghost world, I'm going to be a ghost tooth supplier. Isn't he delicious?" He looked at the direction in which the world tree was retreating, his face full of generosity and heroism, and said, "In my entire life, I, the Dark Ghost Lord, have been invincible under the starry sky, and my reputation is astonishing among the ghosts. I hereby swear that from today on, I will work hard to grow teeth. For the sake of teeth, whatever it takes." He is a sensible person. Damn it, how could he get such a rare thing as the origin of darkness? Isn't it because my good teeth attracted the attention of the boss? Otherwise, the mother tree of the human world would give me such a great supplement. Sure enough, for a boss of that level, just shaking something casually between his fingers would be enough to last him a lifetime. As long as you work hard and rely on your teeth, you can reach the peak of ghost life, just around the corner. And listening to his heroic words, the group of ghosts were all stunned. It seems, there seems to be nothing wrong, it is indeed the pattern of a ghost master, great. Lao Goichi immediately admired him. What a fool he was, he actually wanted to escape. That's right, what are you going to do when you go back? I want to be a good ghost. Woo, I will definitely ask the tooth extracting monster to write me a message next time. Yes, yes, I miss her. A group of ghosts are also full of expectations. From today on, every ghost must work hard to grow teeth for me, and don't lose ghosts to me. The Dark Ghost Lord scanned the group of ghosts. Yes. The ghosts all shouted excitedly. The top priority now is to find evil people, death energy, and other things to increase our strength. The Ghost Lord Tianan spoke. The Dark Origin directly improved their physique, but those things were still needed to enhance their strength. Even the most important ghost teeth must continue to improve their strength to grow. These are the baby teeth now, so they have to be disabled. The Ghost Lord Tianan is a little worried. By the way, Lord Ghost, on the way to find you, we discovered a star realm called Defa Star Realm. In this realm, I once took a glimpse and discovered a massive amount of death energy. At this time, Goichi spoke and said, "This star realm is also the largest among the star wheels." He stretched out his hand and pointed at one of the stars in the sky. It was indeed bigger than ordinary stars. It turns out this is the star realm. The Ghost Lord Tianese's face turned cold. Before the world tree came out, This great fortune star realm was the seat of the eternal realm chosen by the mastermind behind the scenes. It just so happens that now that my strength has greatly increased, it's time to see what the person behind the scenes is planning. And at this moment, somewhere in the starry sky, a middle-aged figure, surrounded by light silver divine principles. Dressed in silver robes, he is like a messenger from the heavens. He does not enter the mortal world, does not occupy the smoke, and is transcendent of everything. However, at this moment, his face was extremely ugly. What existence can actually hurt me through the mirror? He coughed up a mouthful of silver divine blood and looked a little pale. It shouldn't be the ghost Lord Tianan, that kind of power makes my heart palpitate. No, we must find out what exactly exists on the other side of the great ruins realm, otherwise, it will be bad if it affects the Lord's plan. He immediately stood up and headed towards a certain big star in the star wheel. And at this moment, a huge star realm. In a vast mountain range, there is a majestic building. Here, the Pirla sect in the Defa star realm Fusion sect. At this moment, in a small hut at the foot of a mountain, a middle-aged man is sitting cross-legged in the thatched hut. He has Tau marks all over his body and is cultivating. The most peculiar thing is that his legs are vaguely like two giant dragons dormant. They are unparalleled magical energy. Ah, sneeze. Suddenly, the middle-aged man who was in the state of enlightenment sneezed. He opened his eyes and felt his head was a little dizzy. He could not help but grit his teeth and said angrily, "Damn it, who is talking about me, Lao Ao? This is really in the earthly world. Can you do something in the earthly world? Aren't you going to let people live in peace?" Ahem, everyone in the comment section named Lao Ao, Ao Xuanhuan and Boss Ao gather here and let me see how many there are. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 484. Changdao Tianshen has arrived outside the realm of Dayfuxing. He is a god, and if you want to enter the great fortune star realm, you need to pay a price. Moreover, it can easily cause chaos in the world and have far-reaching consequences. However, he hesitated and stepped into it. However, when he entered this world, he found that everything was calm as usual. No change. It's just a star realm, how can it accommodate a god-level powerhouse? He couldn't help but feel a little surprised. This world is a bit complicated. He stood on the sky, glanced at it, and then turned into a ray of light and disappeared into a small sect. Not long after, he left this small sect. Through soul searching, he already has a basic understanding of this world. The reason why this world is called the Great Fortune Star Realm is because it actually seems to be related to the seventh heaven in the divine realm. The seventh heaven among the 33 heavens in the divine realm is called the Fortune Heaven. Every year, the Defa star realm will hold a ceremony to offer sacrifices to the gods to offer the people's wishes to the divine realm. It is said that the whole world will be blessed by the god of fortune. Haha, Great Fortune Star Realm. Communicating with the divine realm? Ridiculous. Changdao Tianshen didn't believe in this false legend at all. Because he was born in the divine realm, he has a clearer understanding of the situation in the divine realm. For the beings in the 33rd heaven, they simply look down upon the incense and wish power of a mere star realm. These are not even mosquito legs, they are too few and too weak. Unless you reach the galaxy level, you can attract the attention of the God realm and get the opportunity to offer incense to the God realm. Star realm, star wheel, constant realm, galaxy. In this corner of the desolate universe, before they took action, many star realms were scattered in the desolation and coldness. Even the star wheels were not formed, and the eternal realm was not born, let alone the galaxy. Moreover, if there is really a blessing from the gods of the divine realm, this great blessing star realm will not be in such a state. He headed directly towards Defa star realm Zhongzhou. There is the most powerful sect in the great fortune star realm Fuxian sect. Now. Defa star realm, Zhongzhou. Fuxian sect. The atmosphere in the main hall was solemn. Sitting at the top was an old man with white hair. He held a pure gold scepter in his hand and said with an extremely heavy face, "Everyone should understand what happened recently. The star wheel is formed, but our great fortune star realm has become a property of other star realms." The old man picked up the pure gold scepter, slammed it on the ground, and said, "Our great fortune star realm is a star realm favored by God. How can we be a vassal of other star realms?" There was anger in his words. He is Bai Songming, the leader of Fuxian sect. Hearing this, many elders of Fuxian sect in the field couldn't help but start talking. Yes, not being able to become the seeds of the eternal world means that the sacred materials of our world will gradually disappear, can't bear it. According to the formation of the star wheel, our great fortune star realm should have become the seed of the eternal realm. Why did it go wrong? Everyone is very angry. Becoming the seed of the eternal world has great benefits. All living things in the world will benefit. In my opinion, we should probably take action to destroy the current central star realm. Perhaps, we can also earn a chance of life for the great fortune star realm. At this time, a middle-aged elder stood up and spoke directly. His name was Tai Han, and he was the most ambitious elder in the sect. When everyone heard this, they were all startled. Tai Han's proposal is indeed a bit too bold. Their Fuxian sect has ancient origins and possesses many extraordinary methods. Therefore, when the star wheel was formed, they vaguely saw the process of star wheel formation through some ancient magic circle. In their expectation, the Defa star realm will become the center and will become the eternal realm in the future. As soon as the news came out, the entire Defa star realm was filled with joy. But, the final result. But extremely disappointing. Their Fuxian sect is the leader in the great fortune star realm, and is regarded by the entire world as the only sect that can communicate with the gods in the divine realm. For a time, I was under great pressure. Therefore, they are discussing here right now. But, attack the current central world? In ancient records, our sect once led the entire world and conquered the galaxy. In this life, if we can regain our glory again, why not? Tai Han stared at the sect leader Bai Songming with cold eyes and said, "If the sect leader is unsure, I suggest that you immediately ask the divine realm for instructions." When Bai Songming heard this, an inexplicable gloom flashed through his old eyes, but he nodded and said, "Okay, ask God's domain for instructions." Many elders were overjoyed. Immediately, they entered the most secret hall of Fuxian sect. Sacrifice to the temple. In this temple, an altar is built that can connect to the divine realm. From ancient times to the present, only every sect leader of Fuxian sect can step into it. Outside the main hall, there are human figurines, including men, women, old, and young. If you look carefully, these human figurines have different expressions, just like living people. In fact, this is a living figurine. These living figurines are selected from thousands of people in the entire great fortune star realm, and are people who are born with great luck. The skills practiced by Fuxian sect and the talents selected are different from those of ordinary sects. The deeper your innate blessings, the more suitable your cultivation will be and the greater your achievements will be. On the contrary, there are some celestial level geniuses who, after practicing, are so fierce that their own mothers don't even recognize them. And every time, Fuxian sect will extensively select those who are blessed. Except for those who are selected as the Holy Son as seeds to be cultivated by the future sect master, the rest will be made into human figurines to store the power of wishes and incense. Every time there is a ceremony to worship the gods, the human figurines that have been filled with incense and wish power are presented to the gods of the divine realm. Bai Songming and others selected a girl figurine from the human figurines. If you want to communicate with the gods, you need to pay a price. Then, Bai Songming walked into the hall with the human figurines. The main hall is very dark, with a black altar, about 10 meters square. Bai Songming closed the door of the hall. Then, he placed the figurine on the altar with both hands. Your servant sends you food, Supreme Demon King, please manifest and enjoy it. He spoke in a low voice and read out a string of strange words. In an instant, a black light suddenly lit up on the altar. In the black light, there seems to be another world. The claws of an unknown beast poked out from the black light and grabbed the human figurine into the black light. Bai Songming watched all this silently. After a long time, in the black light, a voice sounded. What do you want? Bai Songming said. Demon Lord Qi, this corner of the universe has formed a star wheel. Our great fortune star realm is not the central realm, we want to start a war in the star realm. The being in the black light sneered and said. If you want our help, this little thing is not enough. Bai Songming said hurriedly. We are willing to dedicate all the figurines to you. The existence in the black light, but the voice is still cold. It's not enough either. When you find the legendary lucky star, come and talk to us again. Immediately, the black light disappeared. Demon Lord. Bai Songming called, but there was no movement. His fists were clenched, and there was a trace of imperceptible hatred in his eyes. Our Fuxian sect, the mighty god of fortune, once shone under the stars, but we have fallen to this point. He was very sad and angry. This is a secret that only he knows in the entire Defu star realm. The Defu star realm was indeed able to communicate with the divine realm. Even in some almost rotting scripture records, this star was the birthplace of a blessed god who could enter the seventh heaven of the god realm. But later, it declined. The altar that communicates with the divine realm is occupied by a big demon. Their Fuxian sect once fought against that big demon, but the master died. Invincible. In order to protect the living beings in this world, Fuxian sect had to agree to the big demon's conditions. Provide incense and willpower for. And looking for the unparalleled lucky star. It has experienced countless generations of sect masters. Every time a generation of sect masters changes, the new sect masters will be informed of the secret. A very heavy secret. The creatures in the Defu star realm all believe that this star realm is blessed by gods and can communicate with gods. But in fact, it is the bloodthirsty demon that is entrenched in this star realm. It can be said that all the creatures in the entire Defu star realm are just surviving. It's just that the successive masters of the Fuxian sect have kept the secret for countless years, allowing the world to still maintain confidence and live in beautiful dreams. This is a kind of deception, but only deception can continue this world. Bai Songming felt heavy in his heart, he opened the door and walked out. Many elders are waiting nervously. What's up? Is there any instruction from the God's realm? Will the divine realm be willing to help us? Tai Han asked even more expectantly, what do the gods say? Bai Songming shook his head and said. The divine realm, the gods do not support our decision. He walked forward lonely. Everyone looked at each other and followed him. However, when they just returned to the main hall, they found that there was a middle-aged man in silver robe at the top where Bai Songming had been. The middle-aged man in silver robe exuded an extremely powerful sacred aura. He smiled slightly, looked at Bai Songming and others, and said. Let me introduce myself. My name is Changdao, the god of heaven. Changdao, God. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 485. Seeing a stranger suddenly appear in this hall, a group of elders were shocked. This is the heart of Fuxian sect. A strong man actually came in quietly. Moreover, its aura is unfathomable. Let me introduce myself. My name is Changdao, the god of heaven. After hearing these words, everyone's expressions changed drastically. God. They stared at Changdao dumbfounded. At this moment, no one even doubted it. Because Changdao Tianshen did not conceal his own divine energy, and this energy made them all feel a sense of worship. In an instant, everyone couldn't help but kneel down. God. Bai Songming was under tremendous pressure and was shocked to the extreme. At the same time, a certain kind of expectation instantly arose in his heart, and he said excitedly and nervously, God, but he comes from God's realm of fortune. Could it be that the gods in the divine realm finally remembered the great fortune star realm and sent gods to save them? Can the Defa star realm finally get rid of the oppression of that big demon? He looked forward to it very much. Hearing his question, the other elders of Fuxian sect also waited nervously. However, Changdao Tianshen just smiled and said, Fuxian Tian. Sorry, I'm not. Let's be honest, I'm just tired of your idiotic legends from this star realm. You are not qualified to communicate with the divine realm. But, I can give you a chance. An opportunity to dominate the star wheel. He is on top. Hearing this, everyone in Fuxian sect was extremely disappointed. Not from the god of fortune. For a moment, Bai Songming paused as he reached the words on his lips. He originally wanted to tell the secret and ask the god to take action to save the common people. But now, the other party is definitely not a charitable person. If you say it rashly, I'm afraid it will cause disaster. There was some misery in his eyes and he said, Your Majesty is a god, for what purpose can you use ants like us? Although Bai Songming is a wandering god, he deeply understands what the level of god means. Conquer the great ruins realm. Changdao Tianshen spoke directly. Everyone was startled. They just had this idea. But they were rejected by the gods in the divine realm. Now, a god refuses to offer to help them? Are you telling the truth? The ambitious Tai Han was suddenly excited. In his opinion, no matter who it is, as long as they can help them, that is at least a good thing. Certainly. Changdao Tianshen smiled lightly and said, Not only you, but all the worlds in this star wheel will go out together. You guys take the lead. The existence in the Great Ruins realm could actually hurt him through the divine mirror, which made him very afraid. Therefore, he needs to test. Muddy the waters and let that presence jump out. Otherwise, it is too passive. This may be a good thing. Become the seed of the eternal world. Many elders are moving. Bai Songming also started thinking in his heart. As the head of the Fuxian sect, he is by no means an easy person to be able to keep such a heavy secret. He could see that the god in front of him was definitely not a good person. He did not trust the Changdao god. The Great Ruins realm, for a god to pay so much attention to it, is definitely very deep and cannot be grasped by ordinary people. Agreeing to go on an expedition is tantamount to playing with fire. But, other than playing with fire, there seems to be no way out. In front of a god, Fuxian sect has no right to choose at all, so why not obey? I'm afraid what awaits is destruction. If we can become the eternal realm and use the power of the star wheel, we may be able to activate the great formation that communicates with the divine realm. He murmured in his mind. There is also an incomplete top-secret formation hidden in Fuxian sect, which can communicate with the divine realm. But the great demon Hong Kong cut off their connection with the divine realm, and the great formation fell silent, making it difficult to revive. If he becomes the eternal realm, he can draw the power of many worlds for his own use. When the time comes, maybe we can take a chance and reactivate the formation to let God realm know about the situation in the great fortune star realm. He raised his eyes and looked at Changdao Tianshen. At this moment, his eyes were filled with determination at all costs. We agreed. Fusion sect will not hesitate to go through fire and water, we are willing to be the vanguard to attack the Great Ruins realm. The other elders also shouted. Smart people. Changdao Tianshen smiled and said. The strongest among you is just a wandering god, but I will prepare a true god-level warship for you. Get ready to go. After saying that, his figure turned into a silver light and disappeared from the place. Bai Songming immediately stood up and said. Gather all the talents of the sects and call on all the sects in the world, to prepare for the expedition. Suddenly, there was a roar in Fusion sect. Now. In a thatched house at the foot of a remote mountain in Fusion sect. A middle-aged man opened the door and walked out. There is a trace of Taoism in his body, and he has cultivated to the realm of spiritual connection. It won't be long before I might be able to become a demigod. Tisk tisk, I, Ao Wushuan, really survived the catastrophe and will be blessed in the future. He grinned. This person is clearly Ao Wushuan. Since the collapse of the underworld, the tribulation light in the Yang world destroyed most of the cause and effect in the underworld, but he came to the star realm inexplicably. Furthermore, in the Fusion sect's apprenticeship ceremony, he was recognized as a disciple and was listed as one of the 30 Fuyuan disciples. It is said that he is still a very lucky person. Ao Wushuan was so happy at that time. Damn it, I'm in the underworld, and I've just been misunderstood. What a plague god, what a disaster star, it's all slander. I am obviously a lucky star. In Fusion sect, he lived a quiet and happy life. His cultivation progressed by leaps and bounds, and his progress was getting faster and faster. He felt that he had finally made it through, and that he would definitely embark on an unparalleled path in this life. Ao Fuxing. At this time, a white rainbow fell in front of him, and a young man said. The sect is about to go on an expedition. The sect leader asked you to gather in the main hall immediately. I have to inform other lucky stars, so go quickly. After saying this, the young man left quickly. In the sect, all disciples of Fu Yuan are called Fu Xing. Ao Wushuan was stunned for a moment, going on an expedition? Is this going to be a war? He suddenly became excited, and he inexplicably liked fighting. Soon, he arrived in the main hall. 30 lucky star disciples have gathered. We are going to conquer the Great Ruins realm. Fight for the Great Fortune Star realm. You will all experience in this battle. Who is the real lucky star? It depends on your performance. Bai Songming spoke directly. Hearing this, many Fuxing disciples nodded deeply. Ao Wushuan was also nervous. If he couldn't become the heir to the clan leader, he would be made into a human figurine. Gotta work harder. Let's go to war. Bai Songming shouted loudly. A group of Fuxing disciples immediately turned around and left. Dingxi. Suddenly, Tai Han stopped a young man. That young man's name was Tai Dingxi, he was Tai Han's parent and son, and he was also one of the strongest among the 30 lucky stars. Dad, what's wrong? Tai Dingxi spoke doubtfully. Tai Han stared at Ao Wushuan's leaving figure and said. Among all the lucky stars, this person enters the country too quickly, and it makes me feel like I can't see through it, you should pay attention to him. There was a hint of coldness in his eyes. After hearing this, Tai Dingxi immediately nodded thoughtfully and said. Don't worry, I won't let him come back. I will find a way, to kill him. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 486. The army of the Great Fortune Star Realm finally set sail. Almost all the most powerful sects and the most elite experts in the entire star world were mobilized. True god-level warships were densely packed, crossing in the cold void. At the same time, in the star wheel, Countless star realms orbiting the Great Ruins realm also had true god-level warships taking off, and the most powerful cultivators from each star realm began their conquest. And at this moment, the Great Ruins realm, in a small mountain village, everyone looked at the world tree in the corner in a daze. One branch of the world tree is clearly covered with the original principles. A small twig controls the entire star wheel. Even Li Fan's disciples were staring with incredulous expressions in their eyes. This tree has absorbed the original principles from all walks of life. The south wind was extremely unexpected. How could the tree that Master brought out from the underworld be an ordinary thing? Is this tree really related to the world of heaven and earth? Lin Zhuchen was stunned. What kind of existence is my elder brother in the human world? It's really unimaginable. Xuanhuan blinked her big eyes, feeling that her knowledge had been refreshed once again. Master first picked up many causes and effects from the underworld and brought them into the upper world. Now with a wave of his hand, he has absorbed so many original principles of the universe. His old man's game of chess spans the two realms of yin and yang. Zhang Li took a deep breath and felt once again that his situation was too small. What is Master planning? What kind of game are you setting up? But Yun Qianshan and Yun Yinshan were so shocked that they were speechless. I just got a pot of herbal tea so casually without even taking a shot. Just control the original principles of the heavens. What kind of power is this? At this time, Gong Ya finally made the tea and served it. Senior Yun, please use it, Uncle Yun. Li Fan smiled slightly and brought the tea to Yun Qianshan and Yun Yinshan. The expressions on both of them were extremely complicated, and they took the tea tremblingly. Smelling the fragrance of tea, both of them were startled. This tea, this taste. It actually made their souls clear, and their minds seemed to be clearing from the clouds. Countless fogs of practice that were difficult to figure out on ordinary days were broken. They looked at each other and realized that this cup of tea was extremely precious. When Li Fan saw the expressions on the two people's faces, he thought that Yongzi's grandfather and father looked like they were rich people. I'm afraid they were used to drinking good tea, but they weren't used to the coarse tea grown in his village. He immediately said, "The wild tea is really shabby, so please don't mind." Hearing this, Yun Qianshan and Yun Yinshan hurriedly said, "How dare, how dare." They drank tea immediately. Tea entrance. In an instant, the aura of the two people suddenly rose. Yun Qianshan was originally in the seventh heaven of the minor gods. At this moment, the eighth heaven of the sub-god, the ninth heaven, is complete. Finally, there was a roar of Taoism, and his origin seemed to be washed away. His eyes became clear and he took that step. Wandering God. Yun Qianshan directly became the wandering god. As for Yun Yinshan, he took a sip of tea and was even more shocked, because he discovered that his origin was actually being repaired. In the past, he was once a proud man in the divine realm, but he was harmed by others, and his origin was severely damaged. In the end, he took his newborn daughter and left God's domain and returned to the family of this star. Although he still looked stunning in the Yun family of the Great Ruins realm, in reality he understood that it would be difficult to make any progress in this life, and it was impossible for his origin to touch the divine way. However, at this moment, the scarred origin was repaired again, as if it were reborn. His aura suddenly climbed from the first level of the demigod to the fourth level of the demigod. For an instant, Yun Qianshan and Yun Yinshan were both stunned. They looked at the teacups in their hands and looked at each other. They both saw shock in each other's eyes. This tea is incredible. Dad, my origin has been restored, my origin has been restored. Yun Yinshan said excitedly. Yun Qianshan was also overjoyed when he heard this. Li Fan saw that the two people looked a little strange, and felt ashamed in his heart. People really don't like tea. At this moment, Gong Ya had already prepared dinner. "You two, please have dinner together. Li Fan spoke immediately. Hearing this, Yun Qianshan and Yun Yinshan couldn't help but look forward to it. This big boss actually let them and others eat together? Dad, Grandpa, come and sit down. Yun 11 pulled them both to sit down together. A table of fragrant meals is ready, including scrambled eggs with tomatoes, fried potatoes, farm eggplant, fish-flavored shredded pork. All are home-cooked dishes, prepared by Gong Ya. It's a simple meal, just eat it as much as you two generals can, don't be dissatisfied with it. Li Fan smiled. He is becoming more and more satisfied with Gong Ya's craftsmanship. As for Yun Qianshan and Yun Yinshan, looking at the dishes on the table, they were silent again. Scrambled eggs with tomatoes, they glanced at the chickens in horror. Couldn't it be those chicken eggs? This is a phoenix egg. Farm eggplants, fried potatoes, etc. All exude a sacred smell, and the aroma vaguely resembles various mythical beasts. Eating the magic medicine as a meal, is this what the girl from the stream said, a simple meal? Yun Qianshan was immediately numb. Yun Yinshan also looked at his daughter quietly. Grandpa Yun, Uncle Yun, let me serve you some rice. Zi Ling and Yun 11 had a very good relationship, and they stood up on their own initiative at this moment. The two of them were flattered. This girl in purple skirt could easily suppress the presence of several wandering gods. Everyone has already started eating. Yun Qianshan and Yun Yinshan found that each of these young people ate deliciously, but it was normal, just like eating ordinary meals. At this moment, Yun Yinshan suddenly felt a huge gap. Alas, I have lived in poverty for too long, and seeing the life of rich people, I can't accept it. Dad, we can't act too shabby or unexperienced, lest we embarrass girl 11. But Yun Yinshan still took a deep breath and immediately started to eat calmly. However, his chopsticks were trembling slightly every time he picked up a piece of food. A lot of excitement in my heart. The same is true for Yun Qianshan. Dad, Grandpa, please eat more. Sister Gongya's craftsmanship is very good. Yun 11 dutifully gave them 2 plates of food. Which, 11 why don't you eat? Suddenly, Yun Yinshan discovered that Yun 11 didn't seem to eat much. Yun 11's face turned slightly red and she whispered. Dad, the food cooked by the big demon king is so delicious. I often can't help but eat too much. I feel like I'm getting fat, so I can't have dinner anymore. In fact, not only she, but also all the female disciples in the small courtyard were like this. They didn't eat much dinner for fear of gaining weight. Zi Ling, Nanfeng, Su Baijian, Gong Ya and even Xian Ning are all restraining themselves. But when Yun Qianshan heard this, his eyes immediately went straight. This is too much. This sacred meal is rare in the world, but 11 Yata refuses to eat it for fear of gaining weight. Yun Qianshan and Yun Yinshan both felt that Yun 11 had been fed to the point of being picky. Girl 11, you have gone too far. You are extravagant. Yun Qianshan couldn't help but speak angrily, and took 2 big mouthfuls of rice as he spoke. Finally, dinner was finished. And a bunch of magical medicine entered the body, which made the 2 people's cultivation level rise again. Yun Qianshan directly entered the 6th level of the God of Wandering. After Yun Yinshan's origin was repaired, he soared into the sky and became the God of Wandering. Both of them are a bit dreamlike. Master Li, let's take our leave first. Yun Qianshan stood up and spoke. They came here with the original intention of asking the existence behind Yongzi to save the original Taoist principles. As a result, they didn't take it seriously at all, they suppressed everything conveniently, and turned the Great Ruins realm into the center of the star wheel. Now I eat and drink, and I drink. Both of them felt that it was time to leave. When Li Fan saw this, he also smiled and said, okay, then I won't leave 2 more people. Big Demon King, let's leave first. Yungzi immediately left with his grandfather and father. Not long after, they had left the small mountain village. At this moment, wandering god Yunyang was still waiting outside. He stepped forward with excitement on his face and said, "Solved, everything is solved." He saw everything in the universe, a world tree, suppressing everything. Yes, we witnessed a miracle. Yun Qianshan spoke complicatedly. Yunyang Yushan was suddenly shocked, pointed at them and said, your cultivation level. 2 wandering gods? Even stronger than myself. Yunyang's eyesight ended on the spot. Is there such a big opportunity in this small mountain village? I was just too scared to go in. As a result, what did I miss? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 487. Wandering god Yunyang wanted to vomit blood at this moment. He stared at the small mountain village with hatred in his heart. Why should I be timid? Wrong payment, wrong payment. Actually, it's nothing, I just ate some ordinary food. Yun Qianshan spoke numbly. He felt that everything in this small mountain village was the top secret among top secrets, involving extremely high levels. The fewer people who know, the better. In particular, the situation here must not be told from their mouths, otherwise if Senior Li gets angry, it will be over. When Yunyang Yushan heard this, he almost wanted to hit someone on the spot. Ordinary meal? This is too much. What kind of trivial food can turn you from a sub-god to a wandering god? Dad, you go first, I'll talk to Yun 11 about something. At this time, Yun Yinshan spoke. Yun Qianshan looked a little solemn and said, "That matter?" Yun Yinshan nodded and said, "She should know something." Hearing this, Yun Qianshan nodded and said nothing more. Immediately, he and Yunyang left together. "Dad, what do you want to tell me?" There was a trace of doubt in Yun 11's big eyes, and he said uneasily, "Is it about my mother?" She was a little nervous. Since she was a child, she has asked her father countless times why she does not have a mother. My father's answer is always, "Your mother has gone far away." Later, when she grew up, her father still never told her where her mother had gone. When the time is right, Dad will tell you. She had heard this sentence countless times. Now, Yun Yinshan was so serious that she suddenly thought, maybe it was about her mother. Yun Yinshan smiled bitterly and said, "Yes." Yun 11 suddenly fell silent. She had asked for this answer countless times, but when her father really wanted to tell her, she actually felt a little scared in her heart. She is in the divine realm, right? She raised her eyes and looked at her father. Yungzi Bingxiu is smart and can already guess what will make her father depressed all his life and unwilling to mention it. Maybe only the divine realm. Yun Yinshan said. 11 you are very smart. She is indeed in the divine realm. He let out a long sigh, his eyes filled with unparalleled self-blame, and said, "I'm sorry for her and failed to protect her." Scenes from the past flashed through his mind. I think back then, when he rose to prominence in the divine realm, he attracted the attention of the world and was one of the youngest true gods in the divine realm. The future is bright. It's a pity that he fell in love with a woman he shouldn't have loved. That is a love that cannot be tolerated by the world. In fact, even the Yun family of God's domain, which was once proud of him, cannot tolerate him. He once turned into a beauty out of anger, but in the end, his origin was abolished and his husband and wife were separated. He could only take the newly born Yun 11 and sadly leave the God's realm and come to the Great Ruins realm. Until today. 19 years. Over the past 19 years, watching his daughter grow up has become the sustenance of his life. Until today. He looked at Yun 11, and in a trance, he felt like he was seeing his former wife. He couldn't help but burst into tears. "Dad, let's go find mother." Yungzi clenched her fists and spoke. She could see that her father had some last resort difficulties. However, Yun Yinchan wiped away his tears, smiled slightly, and said, "Not the right time yet. 11 you have to work hard to grow up. It is a great opportunity to be with Senior Li. He is not weaker than the giants of God's domain. If one day, you can grow to the point of suppressing the entire God's domain, then everything will be stopped. I can't hold you anymore." When Yun 11 heard this, there were countless questions in her big eyes, but she understood that if her father didn't want to say it, no matter how she asked, it would be useless. She whispered, "Although I can't suppress the divine realm yet, the great demon king may be able to." Yun Yinchan smiled hoarsely, touched his daughter's head and said, "Senior Li is the most transcendent person I have ever seen and the most unfathomable existence, but, you can't count on him for everything, do you understand? It's your fate to meet him. Fate is fate. Don't be utilitarian and don't take advantage of him. Do you understand? I can see that Senior Li is very pure towards you and Miss Xiling. He has created a pure land for you. There will be no second pure land in the entire universe. You must cherish it," he urged earnestly. In fact, the more he experienced life in the divine realm, the more he understood how rare it was to live a peaceful, harmonious, simple, and natural life in this small mountain village. "I'm leaving first, you go back." Yun Yinchan finally spoke and said goodbye to his daughter. Yungzi watched her father leave, and she had an idea in her mind. "Become stronger." Returning to Li Fan's courtyard, she said directly to Li Fan, "The great demon king, I want to learn more." Li Fan was drinking tea and rubbing Xiaobai's belly. Hearing this, he thought for a moment. "Okay, let's do the exercises first." He stood up immediately. After eating, it's time to do some evening exercises to eliminate food. A group of disciples also gathered one after another. Doing exercises? Yun 11's big eyes lit up. She heard Xiling say that this seemed to be a very profound avenue. Ah, the big devil is finally going to teach himself. "Come on, let me teach you the first set of radio gymnastics, colorful sunshine." Li Fan immediately demonstrated it. Yun 11 opened his eyes wide and looked at Li Fan's movements in disbelief. Raising his hand and making a move, he seemed to be waving the most original avenue of the universe. It's like a giant god who is supreme in ancient times is bombarding the darkness. Finally, Li Fan finished his demonstration and said with a smile, "You try it and I'll see." Yun 11 nodded immediately and started doing exercises. Although it was her first time, Yungzi's understanding was extremely high. In particular, her level was much higher than when Xiling and others learned it for the first time. Therefore, the movements are smooth and the postures are accurate. "Wow, Sister Yungzi is so amazing. You did it so well the first time. Sister Yungzi has such a good figure, she looks so beautiful doing gymnastics." Xiling, Subakian and others were very envious. Li Fan also nodded appreciatively, and at the same time stepped forward and said, "More your legs a little higher, well, learn from Gong Ya in chest expansion exercises, and open your arms a little wider." Yungzi carefully corrected what Li Fan said, and soon she mastered the basic movements. At the same time, the potential and accumulation in her body were released. Boom! The breath directly broke through the shackles of the gods and became a minor god. At this moment, there seemed to be incredible power stirring in her body, and vaguely, the avenue in this small courtyard almost seemed to fluctuate with it. An inexplicable energy emanated out, as if it was going to cause a collapse. A sovereign level breakthrough. Ying looked in disbelief. No. It's not just the sovereign level breakthrough, there is some kind of power in her body that seems to be partially released. Nanfan's beautiful eyes were full of surprise and uncertainty. Sister Yungzi. Ling also murmured. Everyone was shocked, because in addition to Yungzi's sovereign level breakthrough, everyone felt that there was a release of qi that could even affect Xiaoyuan Avenue. However, at this moment, a butterfly flew out of Yungzi's sleeves, vibrating its wings, suppressing all the energy emanating from her, and finally stopped on her hand. Yun 11 was a little confused, but didn't care too much. He was very excited and said, "Ah, the devil, it feels so comfortable to do exercises, I still want to learn, teach me quickly." When Li Fan saw this, he couldn't help but smile and said, "Slow down, I can't eat hot tofu in a hurry, but you like it so much, come on, I'll teach you how to make it again." Second said, "Time is calling. This time, we all do it together." Although it was Yungzi's first time, he was able to keep up with the movements of Xiling and others. A group of disciples were all panting. "Well, it looks like I can learn the third set tomorrow, Dance of Youth." And at this moment, in the cold and silent void, hundreds of warships crossed silently, and finally stayed in the starry sky outside the great ruins. Each warship is of the true God level and can accommodate about 10,000 people. There are hundreds of star realms, and each star realm sends at least tens of thousands of people, and they are all real masters of the major star realms. An army of millions. They are all elite. On the big ship in the center, the leader was Tai Han. He is the coach of this expedition. Bai Songming did not come in person. The situation in this world is unknown. Brother Tai, in my opinion, the army is slowly approaching. Let's send the vanguard to spy first. Beside him, another wandering god spoke. Tai Han nodded and immediately looked at the group of disciples next to him calmly. When his eyes glanced at a middle-aged man, he couldn't help but pause on the middle-aged man's legs for a second. This guy named Ao Wushuan always has a feeling that he can't see through and is very afraid of. Just in time to be used as cannon fodder. He pointed toward the area where Ao Wushuan was and said, "You 10 lucky stars, be the vanguard." Suddenly, in the crowd, Ao Wushuan's heart skipped a beat. Isn't this the rhythm of cannon fodder? Mainly, he always felt that something was not quite right about the star realm in front of him. Something's not quite right. Zhang Gan and Ning Xiao, trouble you two, lead an army of 100,000 people and go out together. And Tai Han had already spoken to the other two wandering gods. This time, when hundreds of realms gathered together, there were 300 to 400 wandering gods alone. The strength is extremely amazing. Zhang Gan and Ning Xiao stepped forward immediately. They led the army and were ready to go to war. Ao Wushuan was a little hesitant. He always felt that he had a bad premonition. "Ao Wushuan, what, are you scared?" At this time, a young man next to him suddenly patted him on the shoulder and sneered. "Why, are you afraid that you won't be lucky enough to survive? If you're afraid, just follow me. I'm young and have good fortune, and I won't be affected by disaster." As a disciple of Fuxing of Fuxian sect, his biggest characteristic is not how talented he is, but one has better luck than the other. Therefore, all the lucky star disciples are full of confidence. Especially the young man who spoke, his name is Jiao Fuxing. It is said that when he was 3 years old, he had great luck and ate the magic fruit. When he was 5 years old, he had great luck and picked up scriptures. When he was 13 years old, he had great luck. A plague broke out in his hometown, and he was the only one alive. Come down. The most amazing thing is that when he was 18 years old, Jiao Fuxing secretly watched the sex saint take a bath, and he happened to encounter the sex saint being drugged with aphrodisiac, #. So, If he is not confident, who is? In this life, he, Geofuchsing, is the chosen one and the winner in life. There is never anything to be afraid of in the dragon's pond and tiger's den. When Xuanhuan heard this, he gritted his teeth and said, "Okay, let's go." He also worked hard. The army sets off immediately. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 488. The vanguard troops descended directly on the Great Ruins realm. This is the southern region of the Great Ruins realm. Kill. Ningxiao and Zhonggan, two wandering gods, issued an order. Suddenly, 100,000 troops swept across the southern region. "Everyone, the 10 of us should take the initiative to attack. How about you come with me?" Geofuchsing spoke to the remaining 9 Fuchsing disciples in the vanguard. There was an unknown coldness in his eyes. "Good. Can." Everyone agreed. Immediately, the 10 of them set off alone. "Everyone, come closer to me." "Haha, my luck is much better than yours." Geofuchsing sneered. "Not necessarily. They are all disciples of Lucky Star. Who has less luck than the other?" Some of the disciples responded coldly. In the competition between the same generation, no one is willing to accept the other. Only Xuanhuan said nothing. It doesn't matter whether he has a lucky star or not. The key is that since he entered this world, he has felt, there is always a feeling in his heart. Strange. Kill, there is a city ahead. Everyone took action. This battle was very fast, because there was not a single strong man in the city who could even reach the realm of gods. However, when everyone was reaping victory, the Fuchsing disciple who had spoken against Geofuchsing suddenly screamed and was hit by a mechanism, turning into blood mist on the spot. "Zhang Yi." Someone called the deceased's name. His face looked ugly. "We are all lucky stars. How could Zhang Yi die like this? Even if there is a mechanism, it should be impossible to hit him." Everyone was surprised and confused. Obviously, his luck is no good. Geofuchsing spoke coldly, and at the same time, the corner of his mouth slightly raised a smile. "No one knows that the skill he picked up when he was 5 years old, is called seizing bamboo shoots. It's a very strange technique, but it's very defiant. It can quietly take away other people's luck." He had a lucky star physique, and after practicing that technique, he became stronger and stronger. In the sect, he did not dare to use it easily for fear of being discovered, but now was the best opportunity. Along the way, he had already taken away all Zhang Yi's luck. That's why the other party died so easily. The lucky star is born with excellent luck, but if the luck is absorbed, it will suffer a huge backlash, and you will be seriously injured even if you don't die. Even in the mortal world, many people who were lucky enough to make a fortune ended up in a tragic end because their luck was unstable and suffered backlash. "Let's go, keep going." Immediately, they continued. Next, they easily defeated each section. Not long ago, the Zhan family declared war on the Yun family. In order to get a piece of the pie, most of the forces sent their masters to go there. As a result, no one was left in this area. What a master! However, one after another Fuxing disciples died on the way. "Here, this place is a bit weird. Why are we the only 2 left? Brothers Fuxing, or let's retreat." Finally, Xuanhuan panicked when he saw the last Fuxing disciple die. It's a simple battle, but someone always dies inexplicably. Some fell to death while walking, some were shot by cold arrows during battles, and some were even hit to death by wild boars. Is this still a lucky star? This is simply a bunch of bad guys. Damn, it's so evil. It's so evil. But after hearing this, Geofuchsing was speechless for a while. He wanted to say, "Damn, it's you, Xuanhuan, who is responsible." Out of 10 lucky stars, he killed 8 of them alive using the bamboo shoot shooting technique. However, he discovered that no matter how he used the snatching bamboo shoots, he could not absorb Xuanhuan's good fortune. I don't believe it. He decided to use the forbidden technique in seizing bamboo shoots to take it away by force. However, in the next moment, he suddenly turned pale and spat out a mouthful of blood. "Brother Fuxing, don't scare me, Lao Ao." Xuanhuan was so frightened that he said, "This place is so evil, how come you have been defeated? Let's run away." Hearing this, Jiao Fuxing spit out another mouthful of blood and wished he could strangle Xuanhuan to death. "What the hell, is this place evil? Is this where you restrain yourself? It's you, Xuanhuan." But he was also surprised that taking bamboo shoots could take away all the luck in the world. Why doesn't it work for Xuanhuan? Unless Xuanhuan has no luck? Thinking of this, his heart suddenly skipped a beat. Is this grandson a man who sneaked into the sect by hiding something from the truth? Xuanhuan, you, honestly, what did you do before? He is very suspicious. When Xuanhuan heard this, his heart tightened. He came from the underworld. This couldn't be said. He shook his head and said, "We can't bear to look back on the past, so let's leave quickly." When Jiao Fuxing heard this, he became even more sure. This Xuanhuan, Jwibi is a liar. The unlucky kind. Wu dash. At this time, the horn sounded. "Let's go, gather." The two immediately headed in the direction of the horn sound. At this moment, the army had captured the entire southern region in less than an hour. In the entire southern territory, there is not even a single cultivator who can reach the divine realm. Is this star realm so weak? With this strength, can you become the seed of the eternal world? I think it only takes 3 hours to bulldoze the entire world. The vanguard troops are full of confidence. Haha, too weak. Ning Xiaoyushan sneered and said, "This world is ruined. Let the army be informed that they can come and harvest." Zhang Ganyushan also nodded and sent the message to the army behind. Then, Zhang Gan looked at Xuanhuan and asked, "Why are you the only two left?" "Elder Qi, the rest of them are not lucky enough and they are all dead." Jiao Fuxing spoke in a deep voice. Hearing this, Zhang Gan's eyelids jumped. There was a flash of thought in his eyes, but he didn't say anything. He was entrusted by Tai Han, so he couldn't let these people go back alive. Just in time to die? Okay, let's go somewhere else. Take down the entire Great Ruins realm. The army continues to advance. And at this moment, what happened in the southern region has spread to all regions in the Great Ruins realm. In an instant, the entire Great Ruins world was shaken. What? There are strong men from other star realms attacking the southern territory. The southern territory is almost captured. The Great Ruins realm has been invaded. All parties immediately paid attention nervously. Donghuang. Urgent report, the southern territory has been invaded by other star realms and has been completely captured. In the Muling dynasty, urgent news came. In the main hall, all the officials gathered together, and they were all shocked at this moment. People from other star realms appeared in the Great Ruins realm. The distance between the star realms is difficult to estimate. The star wheels have just been formed. Even if other worlds are hostile, they will not come so quickly. It must not be simple behind it. For a moment, Mu Zhenkong, Mu Rantian and other important ministers spoke solemnly. Mu Huang was sitting on the throne, with a slight frown on his face at this moment. Urgent report. At this time, another urgent message came. At the junction with the southern territory, traces of enemy troops were found. The enemy outside the boundary is approaching the eastern wasteland. Hearing this, Mu Wanking immediately stood up and said, "Get ready to fight." No matter who the other party is, he who dares to invade the Great Ruins realm or the Eastern Wasteland is unforgivable. As you command. Immediately, many ministers, elders, etc. spoke one after another. In addition, pass on the emperor's will and plant the battle flag of the Lord of the Wild Sky. The world where his old man lives, whoever comes will die. Mu Wonking's eyes were extremely determined. Today, she is completely different from the innocent girl she once was in the wilderness, and she vaguely has the appearance of a generation of emperors. Suddenly, the entire Mu Ling dynasty army gathered. Mu Huang, Mu Wonking, even personally led the army to kill the border between the eastern wasteland and the southern territory. Looking towards Nanjing. As its name suggests, this is the city closest to the southern territory in the eastern wasteland. At a glance, it is the land of the southern territory. At this moment, an army appeared vaguely on the distant enemy. Mu Wonking, Mu Zhenkong, and others have already boarded Wangnan City. At the top of Wangnan City, a big flag fluttered in the wind. Lord of the Wild Sky. The more important reason why Mu Wonking put up the flag is. These 4 words are now the belief of the entire Donghuang. She knew that as long as this flag did not fall, the people of the eastern wilderness would have nothing to fear. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 489. And at this moment, the wandering gods Zhonggan and Ningxiao have already led the vanguard army to kill. They saw the city in front of them. Because it was on the border of the eastern wasteland, the city didn't look very grand. Haha, let me take the lead. As soon as they arrived, a minor god named Long Daoi spoke impatiently. In his hand, he held a blood flag. It was the most precious treasure he practiced and needed blood. But now, the Great Ruins realm is full of blood. He rushed directly towards the city. According to the experience in the southern territory, let alone a minor god, even a few powerful gods can easily destroy a city. A bunch of ants, go to hell. Long Tao shouted loudly, and blood flags flew across the sky, exuding strong blood energy, making people feel heart-stopping, and pressing down on the entire city. He was extremely contemptuous and wanted to destroy the city with one blow. However, at this moment, looking at the south city, Murantian let out a cold shout and suddenly stretched out his big hand. It was as if many ferocious beasts appeared with his big hand and penetrated into the air. In an instant, the blood flag suddenly broke apart. Ah! Long Tao let out a shrill scream and flew out upside down. Head. Several of his disciples rushed forward to catch him. Long Tao's chest was full of blood. He looked at the city in front of him in horror and said tremblingly, there are experts, please take me to escape. A group of disciples immediately hurriedly took him back to the front of the army. What happened? How could Master Long be defeated? What happened? Everything happened too fast. Everyone was surprised. The conquest was extremely smooth along the way, but they suddenly encountered setbacks, which made them a little unable to react. There are, masters, real masters. Long Tao spoke with difficulty. Haha, is this area finally a little interesting? Do you know what kind of force the other party is? Ningxiao asked lightly. I don't know, on the city wall and on the big flag are the words Lord of the Wild Sky. Long Tao spoke with difficulty. Lord of the Wild Sky? Never heard of it? Haha, don't be afraid, kill. Everyone is arrogant. However, when a middle-aged man in the crowd heard these 4 words, his eyes immediately went straight. He stared blankly at the city in front of him. Lord of the Wild Sky? Damn, isn't it? These 4 words. Once spread throughout the underworld. It represents that small mountain village. He suddenly broke down in a cold sweat and swallowed a mouthful of saliva. It's not like that, it's not like that. This is the world of the world. It's definitely not like that. It should be the same name. He murmured, comforting himself. No matter what, let's go to war. Xuanhuan waved his hand, and everyone immediately prepared to kill. Everyone, wait a minute, let me do it. At this time, Fuxing sneered and said, let me destroy the city. He has now absorbed the good fortune of 8 lucky star disciples, and his own good fortune has grown to an extremely terrifying level. At the same time, it is also very powerful to be able to mobilize the energy of disaster and bad luck between heaven and earth. He felt that he could kill a demigod-level powerhouse. So, wanted to check it out. When Xuanhuan heard this, there was a hint of joy in his eyes. Fuxing and Xuanhuan, the people Tai Han asked him to focus on, were worrying about how to kill them. At this moment, he smiled slightly and said, okay, you go and try. Well, Xuanhuan, you go too. Hearing this, Xuanhuan, who was already anxious, almost jumped. Damn. He had some resentment. Why did he bring himself with him? He doesn't want to go. Don't worry, I am the son of destiny. I am blessed with good fortune and I am invincible. Fuxing sneered, patted Xuanhuan on the shoulder, and said, quick, come with me. As he spoke, he strode forward with pride written all over his face as he approached Wang Nanjing. Xuanhuan gritted his teeth and said, damn, it's a blessing, not a curse, it's a curse that can't be avoided. Followed immediately. Okay, this is it. The distance is almost there. Xuanhuan, just watch. When I raised my hand, the enemy's flag broke and their morale was depleted. When I raised my hand again, the enemy's commander died and the army collapsed. When I raised my hand 3 times, a plague broke out all over the city and they were wiped out on the spot. Fuxing was so angry that he held his head high, sneered, and started to use the bamboo shoots winning technique. He wants to turn this battle into his own battle to become famous, and let the name of Lucky Star spread throughout the starry sky. In this way, you can better compete for the identity of the sect leader's successor. He pointed at the big flag on the city tower and shouted suddenly, I am the Lucky Star, and I ordered this flag to be broken. In an instant, there seemed to be some strange secret power flowing around him, as if the power of cause and effect came out. The competition for winning bamboo shoots has begun. This is the terrifying thing about seizing the bamboo shoots. Once you accumulate good fortune to a certain point, you can vaguely communicate the power between heaven and earth. But Xuanhuan was an excited person and said, no, don't point blindly. That flag doesn't point to anything. He panicked, not afraid of 10,000 but just in case, what if that flag really represented the existence of the underworld? Isn't that asking for death? Don't bother me, Lao Ao, if you want to die. But Fuxing was full of confidence, and the shootout competition continued to run. The wind blew gently. The big flag on the tower floats in the wind. However, it always stood firmly. What happened? Fuxing was suddenly confused. He clearly felt the evil force between heaven and earth, and they were all moving towards the big flag. Why didn't the flag break? He was a little angry. He was trying to show off in front of the 3 armies, but something like this happened. He is angry. I am the Lucky Star. Disasters in the world are at my command. Kill. No evil will touch me. I am the lucky one chosen by heaven and earth. Kill, kill, kill. He ran the bamboo shoot seal technique crazily and attacked the city tower. All the misfortune in the world poured out towards the city tower. But, on the tower. But it was extremely quiet. What are these 2 people doing? Are they pointing and pointing? Is there something wrong? You're not performing some evil magic, are you? On the city tower, Murantian and others were a little confused. This guy under the castle tower looks abnormal. Never mind, let him perish. Mu Zhenkong shook his head, waved his big hand, and struck down with a powerful blow. Jiao Fuxing, who was casting a spell, saw his eyelids twitching. Is the other party completely fine? His eyelids twitched and he felt something was wrong. Quick, run! He shouted, turning around hastily. However, he discovered that Ao Wushuan, who came with him, was already thousands of meters away at some point. Damn, when did you run away? Jiao Fuxing was anxious, and he hurriedly took out a jade talisman from his sleeve. It was a life-saving talisman specially issued by his sect to Fuxing disciples. He hurriedly crushed it. But in an instant, the life-saving charm exploded. Ah! He let out a shrill scream and was blown far away. He was bloody and seriously injured. I took the wrong one. It became an explosive jade talisman to deal with the enemy. Jiao Fuxing doubted himself on the spot. He was never wrong. What about your own luck? Why do you feel a little unlucky now? Ao Wushuan, brother Wushuan, come back and save me. He hurriedly spoke to Ao Wushuan. At this moment, Ao Wushuan was running wildly. Hearing the sound from behind, he couldn't help but turn around and saw Jiao Fuxing lying on the ground. Not dead. He was surprised and hesitated. Since he's not dead, let's go help him. Ao Wushuan ran back immediately. Quickly, find me a vitality and life-sustaining pill. In the colorless jade box. Jiao Fuxing spoke hastily. He was seriously injured and couldn't even open the box, so he had to throw the wooden box he carried with him to Ao Wushuan. Ao Wushuan hurriedly found the elixir and handed it to Jiao Fuxing. Jiao Fuxing swallowed it in one gulp with a smile on his face and said, "This vitality and life-sustaining elixir has miraculous effects. I can't die, no." His face suddenly turned green, as if he had taken poison. He grabbed Ao Wushuan's hand and said, "What kind of medicine did you take?" I lost my vitality." There was almost a cry in his words. What I am holding is a colorless jade box." Ao Wushuan was also confused. Jiao Fuxing looked at the jade box and suddenly said miserably, "Damn, this jade box has faded. This was originally a red box, but it contains poison." He spurted out old blood. How so? Could it be said that he was bitten back? Bad luck is coming? Impossible, he clearly felt that his luck had not dissipated yet. "I'll carry you, come up quickly." Ao Wushuan picked up Jiao Fuxing and ran away. Finally, they ran to the front of the three-army formation. "We are finally back." Ao Wushuan looked happy and said, "Two wandering gods, let's retreat. There is an evil sect here, an evil sect." With that said, he put Jiao Fuxing down on his back and said, "Brother Fuxing, are you okay?" However, 2 lines of tears had already flowed down from Jiao Fuxing's eyes. He was dying, pointing at Ao Wushuan, and said with great sadness and anger, You, the evil section. The disaster star, the evil sect's great disaster." After that, he died. Huh? He was hit by arrows in his back, so many arrows. At this time, someone spoke. I saw that Jiao Fuxing's back was actually covered with arrows. Ao Wushuan suddenly broke out in a cold sweat. Damn it, when did the enemy fire their cold arrows? To actually conduct a sneak attack, is that too much? Fortunately, he carried Jiao Fuxing on his back, otherwise he would have died. "Brother, you died so miserably." He was suddenly very sad. Seeing this, Zhang Ganyushan and others twitched their mouths. Damn it, if it weren't for you, Jiao Fuxing would have died. Still crying here. No wait, the whole army attacks, kill. Immediately, they drank it coldly. The army rushed towards Wangnan city. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 490. Xuanhuan and Ning Xiaoyushan led the army and rushed away. The two wandering gods burst out with powerful power, and more than a dozen minor gods took action together. This time, hundreds of realms are coming, and the high-end combat power is too abundant. But now, the Muling dynasty has not yet produced a wandering god. Even though Mu Wanqing had awakened the wood spirit divine body and attained the celestial posture, she was still at the peak level of a sub-god. There's still a long way to go. Mu Rantian and others are also just sub-gods. However, at this moment, no one on the city tower was afraid. Your Majesty, offer a sacred object. Mu Zhenkong asked. Mu Wanqing nodded and said, no need to hold back. Immediately, Mu Zhenkong and Mu Rantian stepped forward together. The two of them are jointly in charge of a sack. Seeing the bag, everyone in the imperial court on the city tower was delighted. That is the sacred object of the entire dynasty, given by the Lord of Huangtian. The wood shakes the sky and the wood burns the sky. The two minor gods are injecting power at this moment. Suddenly, the bag expanded infinitely, covering the sky and the earth, as if it could swallow up the universe. The whole sky was covered. No. What is that? Everyone in the vanguard force was shocked at this moment. That bag was so terrifying, filled with an irresistible aura, as if it could swallow everything. Break. Xuanhuan tried his best and slashed out a magic sword that was close to his life, but the sword was directly swallowed by the bag, and there was not even a splash. Countless powerful people were sucked into it one after another. Even the two wandering gods felt involuntarily and unable to resist at this moment. No. What kind of treasure is this? Xuanhuan screamed, he couldn't hold it in any longer, and flew towards the bag mouth on Tianyu. Who will tell the coalition forces, the danger, there is a big danger here. He looked toward the rear of the army sternly. This bag can easily kill the wandering god and must alert the army behind it. However, at a glance, he saw that almost everyone was swallowed up. Wrong. He looked around and saw a small black dot on the horizon, disappearing quickly. Nima, Ao Wushuan. When did this guy escape? He had no time to think, and the next moment he was sucked into the bag. In just a moment, the sky had returned to clarity. It was as if no army had ever arrived. Incredible, incredible, this bag is so strong. It is worthy of being a treasure given by the Lord of Desolate Heaven. Everyone was pleasantly surprised. Wanqing, take it all. Mu Rantian also spoke excitedly. The two minor gods can sacrifice together to collect the wandering god. This should be just the enemy's vanguard. Mu Wanqing was thinking. The war is still to come. The Yun family is leading an army to support us. At this time, a loud shout came from Tianyu. People from the Yun family in Zhongzhou have arrived. The three wandering gods of the Yun family, Yun Yinshan, Yun Qianshan, and Yun Yang, are all here. Shocked to hear that the Star Alliance forces are attacking, where are they? Yun Qianshan spoke in surprise. It has been collected. Mu Ran Tianliang opened the bag in his hand and smiled slightly. Hearing this, everyone in the Yun family was surprised. Master Yun, Wanqing feels that if the enemy attacks this time, it may not be that simple. Mu Wanqing said to Yun Yinshan. Yes, there are 1,000,000 troops outside the boundary, and they are already heading towards the Great Ruins realm. The ones before were just their vanguard. Yun Yinshan spoke directly. After receiving the news, the Yun family immediately observed the situation outside the territory. This time, all the powerful men from the Star Realm in the Star Wheel should be here. Hearing this, Mu Wanqing's face became solemn and she said. What do you think, Master Yun should do? Yun Yinshan said directly. Hundreds of star realms can unite a consensus and attack our realm. It is obvious that there is a real strong person behind it. Reminiscent of the last time, a true god died in the Great Ruins realm, and he is almost inseparable. The mastermind behind this time and the one who pushed the formation of this corner of the universe's star wheel, should be a group of people. The Great Ruins realm has become the center of the star wheel, so they are naturally unwilling to accept it. His analysis made everyone see the sun through clouds. And I feel that although the army is numerous, they are just the opponent's pawns. Yun Yinshan spoke next. He said calmly. The real Black Hand is jealous and testing Senior Li. As he spoke, he couldn't help but look at the 4-character banner of Lord of Desolate Sky on the top of the city with respect. Wonking understands. Mu Wonking took a deep breath and said, "I'll go to the God-burying wilderness immediately. Now." God Burial Wilderness, small mountain village. In the small courtyard. It was already noon, and Li Fan and Yun 11 were enjoying the cool under the peach tree and playing chess. "Ah, I don't even have my car anymore." Yungzi was playing, and she was about to lose again. She was very unwilling to accept it, so she suddenly picked up the chess piece and captured one of Li Fan's rooks. "Yungzi, the elephant can't cross the river." Li Fan spoke. "No, your elephant can't cross the river, but mine is a flying elephant and can fly across the river." Hearing this, Li Fan's mouth twitched, and he had no choice but to stay with her. In fact, Li Fan discovered that Yungzi was extremely talented. It had only been a few days, but her achievements in chess were already so amazing that even the worldly masters might not be her match. Meow meow. The little white cat walked out of the kitchen and jumped into Li Fan's arms, meowing as if it was aggrieved. Li Fan rubbed Xiaobai's belly. He knew that Xiaobai wanted to eat meat. "Be good, I'll talk to Uncle Zhang in the evening and ask him to kill the cow and give you the tenderloin." Li Fan spoke dotingly. "Is Senior Li here?" At this time, Mu Wonking's voice came from outside. "Come in." Li Fan spoke. Mu Wonking arrived immediately. She saluted Li Fan and then said, "Senior, something happened. The mastermind behind the last siege of the Yun family, this time, is here again. According to speculation, they may want to target you." Hearing this, Li Fan was suddenly shocked. Has this offended Hisui? Is revenge coming? Last time, when Yungzi wanted to go home for a fight, Li Fan sent all his disciples out and won the fight decisively. This time, the other party is obviously seeking revenge. "Xuanhuan, take everyone there. If they refuse, bring them to the village." Li Fan spoke directly. "If you can, just make a fight. Who is afraid of whom?" Hearing this, Long Xuanhuan immediately said, "As you command." Suddenly, everyone was copycat. In an instant, many disciples in the small courtyard immediately left. Only Li Fan and Xiaobai were left, as well as some small animals. "Xiaobai, are you hungry?" Li Fan suddenly took the opportunity to ask Xiaobai, saying, "Ziling and Xuanhuan are not here. Do you want to eat chicken or fish?" Bai Xiaoqing was lying comfortably in Li Fan's arms and was about to take a nap. When she heard this, the hair on her head was about to explode. The group of native chickens that were leisurely pecking at the corn exploded at this moment, clucking and screaming, and hurriedly ran back to the chicken coop and buried their heads in the hay. In the pond, a group of fish tried their best to dig into the mud. In Li Fan's arms, Bai Xiaoqing's body was trembling even more. "Meow, don't scare meow. Meow meow, meow meow meow." She stretched out her little paws and refused. Li Fan pondered for a moment, what does Xiaobai's cat language mean? Do you want to eat them all? And at this moment, the Star Boundary Alliance has entered the Great Ruins realm. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 491. Xuanhuan stood at the bow of the ship. 1,000,000 troops had entered the Great Ruins realm. According to the news from Xuanhuan and others, this world is extremely weak. There was a trace of doubt in Xuanhuan's eyes. How could this kind of star realm become the seat of the eternal realm and attract the attention of the gods? But he didn't think much about it. Contact Xuanhuan and others. He spoke. No. Xuanhuan and others can't be contacted. They seem to be in trouble. A middle-aged man in charge of contact lost his voice and said. They might all be dead. All dead. Hearing this, many powerful men on this big ship were immediately surprised. How could it be? Didn't they win consecutively? It was so sudden, I didn't receive any news from the beginning to the end. There's something weird. Everyone spoke. Xuanhuan also raised his eyebrows. This world is really not that simple. Very good. But at this time, next to Xuanhuan, his son Dingxi showed a sneer. Dingxi didn't care at all about the life or death of the 100,000 vanguard troops. He just thought that in this way, the two people who threatened him the most. All dead. Jiaofuxing, Ao Wushuan. His position became more and more consolidated. Report. There are survivors coming back from the front. However, at this time, someone suddenly spoke loudly. I saw a person coming quickly on the horizon ahead. He was extremely fast, and his legs were like stepping on Hot Wheels. That's Ao Wushuan. Is he still alive? Everyone in Fuxian sect was surprised. Dingxi was stunned when he saw this. Damn, Ao Wushuan is not dead? Xuanhuan also felt his heart sinking and said. Bring it up. Immediately, someone came forward to help and brought Ao Wushuan back to the big ship. What's going on? Xuanhuan said coldly. No. Something bad is happening. Ao Wushuan panted and said. You can't go to this world. There may be great danger in this world. Marshal, let's retreat quickly. He was really scared. Although he is not sure whether the banner of the Lord of Desolate Heaven has anything to do with the small mountain village in the underworld. But his intuition told him to run as fast as he could. Explain. Xuanhuan pressed. Ao Wushuan immediately told what happened in Donghuang. Haha, a bag. It's nothing more than a true magic weapon at most. Xuanhuan was extremely disdainful. They really didn't lack the true magic weapon this time. Lead the way immediately. He shouted. Ao Wushuan suddenly felt aggrieved. Why did he ask himself to lead the way again? He had the feeling that something bad was going on, this familiar scene. Well, I'll lead the way, you guys, you wish for yourselves a lot of blessings. He gritted his teeth and spoke. Immediately, the army advanced. Heading towards the eastern wasteland, the troops are approaching and looking at the southern city. Beat the drum of fear and call for war. Xuanhuan Lengbing spoke. Suddenly, on the bow of the warship, several deities were beating drums. That drum is a true god-level treasure. Since the enemy has the true god's treasure, he is ready to use it directly. Dong dong dong. Suddenly, the terrifying sound waves spread throughout the eastern wasteland, and even spread to other regions. The true god-level pressure came out with the sound of drums, and the whole world was shocked. The ground shook, Wangnan city in front cracked directly because of the sound of the drums, and the clouds in the sky broke away. What is this sound? What kind of magic sound is this? My ears are about to explode. Is it the true God? Is the true God coming? There was a huge earthquake in the eastern wasteland. This kind of drum sound carries great pressure and murderous intent, covering the entire Great Ruins world, and everyone in the world is panicked. After leaving the small mountain village, Long Zixuan and the others followed Mu Wonking and headed directly to the Mu Ling dynasty. Dad, What's wrong? Yun 11 stepped forward and asked his father. The Star Alliance forces are coming. Yun Yinchan immediately explained the matter. Including his guess, this time, there is someone behind the scenes who is testing Senior Li. Don't be afraid, the big devil is not afraid of the dark. Yungzi is very relaxed. Yun Yinchan also smiled, and he felt relieved when he saw that Senior Li actually sent out all his disciples. And right now, the astonishing drum sound suddenly sounded, as if coming from the sky, shaking the earth. This drum sound, is truly God level. Everyone's expressions changed. Report. The enemy has arrived. The battle report has been sent. The army is coming? Line up, no one is allowed to grab this one. Duguyuking was the first to speak, looking anxious. Yes, senior brother Xuanhuan, senior brother Lu Rang, you can't run away anymore, oh my god, where are they? Qing Chen was also talking, but in the blink of an eye, Long Xuanhuan and Lu Rang were gone. Even Wu Dade rushed ahead. Don't talk about martial ethics. Zhang Li shook his head and followed immediately. A group of fellow apprentices and others set off quickly. The remaining Yun Yinchan, Yun Qianshan, and others all had complicated expressions. Senior Li's disciples are indeed all different. Yun Qianshan couldn't help but sigh. Yun Yinchan said silently, they are probably used to it. Mu Wanqing gave the order, let's go. The army moves out. The junction of the eastern wasteland and the southern territory. The army is spread out, the drums are beating, and the world is almost going to be destroyed. In fact, the power of the true God-level war drum is not completely stimulated, it is just a provocation. Otherwise, I am afraid that all life would be in ruins at this moment. Doesn't anyone dare to fight in this area? Someone sneered. You shouldn't use the true God-level war drums. Maybe those little ones have already fled. We can't escape, this world will be completely destroyed. Yes, no one can be left alive. Many wandering God-level figures spoke coldly. However, at this moment, there was a faint sound of dragon roaring in the sky. A powerful fist light hit the entire army. It was like 9 heavenly dragons fighting each other. This punch was astonishing. Coming. A wandering god. Everyone was surprised that this punch was powerful enough to reach the level of a wandering god. Immediately, a wandering god took action, his big palm struck with the fist light in the sky, and the sky exploded. Come and fight. Long Xuanhuan's punch had already arrived before Long Xuanhuan's men arrived. After the blow fell, he finally appeared. He stood in the air and looked at the army ahead. They are so densely packed that there are millions of them. At the same time, as he appeared, on that densely packed warship, one by one, wandering god-level figures stood up. There are hundreds of them. Generally speaking, there are several wandering gods in each star realm. This time, hundreds of star realms came out in full force, and there were more than 300 wandering gods alone. More than 300 wandering gods stared at Long Xuanhuan silently. Long Xuanhuan was stunned for a moment. Why, so many people? It's a bit over the top. No matter how strong he is, can a minor god resist 300 wandering gods? So sloppy. He turned around silently and retreated 100 miles. Long Xuanhuan, save some. Don't go too far. From behind, a group of fellow disciples finally came to kill him. Hey, senior brother Long, why didn't you grab someone's head this time? Lin Zhuzhen was surprised. Long Xuanhuan pointed forward and said. No need to fight, this wave is enough. Many brothers raised their eyes and looked forward. Defeat Yushan. Nearly 1,000 times God. Suddenly, everyone was a little surprised. Very good. Duguyuking is full of fighting spirit. Go green and have fun. Lu Rang held the flower pot, his eyes burning. Ching Chen stepped forward, holding a broom, pointing at the millions of troops ahead, and said, "My master is compassionate and has sent me to save you all." A group of disciples showed no fear and instead advanced step by step. And at this moment, on the warship, Tai Han Han looked at the group of young men and women who suddenly appeared, but sneered and said, "Is there just such a small number of people in the huge great ruins realm? A group of minor gods, are too weak." He is extremely disdainful. But, behind him, Xuanhuan looked at the group of people in front of him. He was shocked at the time. His eyes were straight, staring straight at the fat man, the monk, the girl holding the piano, the grass farmer. His legs instantly trembled. That's it? These people are like bumpkins from the village. They are really ignorant and meaningless. If they dare to come to fight, they are really looking for death. At this time, Tidingsi also sneered and spoke with great contempt. When Xuanhuan heard this, he almost collapsed. "Nima, how does that look like him? He is from the village. That, small mountain village. Damn little mountain village. I, Lao Ao, have really seen a ghost. Oh my god, I'm already in the mortal world. Why don't you let me go?" He looked up at the sky, his eyes filled with grief and anger.